Good morning and welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living in Paoli, Pennsylvania, live streaming to you. And as we say here during this time of social distancing, namaste. Namaste. Hi, everybody. We're very happy to be with you, however that looks today. And today it looks as though we're here, you're there, but the truth is we are all here together. Our hearts are open to each other. We are of one mind, and it's a beautiful thing to share this Sunday morning time with you. So we are here to celebrate the basic, beautiful, universal laws of this imagine this whole universe. And it is that there is one life, there is one presence, there is one divine power, and we are individualized expressions of that oneness. And so here we learn how to align ourselves with the loving presence of God. We learn how to speak our word positively, constructively, creatively, in order to make our worlds beautiful, our individual lives and the greater world itself. And right now there's a lot going on, and it's an important thing, more important than ever perhaps, for us to be learning how to use the law of mind, how to align ourselves with the love of the universe. And I think it would be a good thing to start this morning with something we don't do too often, and maybe not often enough. But today, I'd like to read the Declaration of Principles, just to ground us about what we are about, what Ernest Holmes had in mind for us when he began this beautiful philosophy, which is a combination of such great philosophies and science and theology, brought it into a very practical way of living. And this is the Declaration of Principles, originally called What We Believe by Ernest Holmes. We believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. This one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. We believe in the incarnation of Spirit in all people, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. We believe that the kingdom of heaven is within us, and that we experience this kingdom to the degree that we become conscious of it. We believe the ultimate goal of life is to be a complete emancipation of all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the spiritual and intuitive nature of each person, and that anyone may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe that the universal Spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by this creative mind which receives the impress of our thought and acts upon it. We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind. We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. We believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God. And now we're going to have a wonderful opening song, and it's called I Trust in God, written by Ricky Byers.
Please stand, and we're going to sing I Trust in God.
Grateful, so grateful. that wonderful? My name is Mike Gertis, and it's my delight and my honor to present to us our opening spiritual mind treatment, which is our term for affirmative prayer. And join me in consciousness now as I know that there is one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. And that life, that divine intelligence, that divine law expresses in and through me and as me right now. Today I move beyond hope, and I know my good is at hand. Because I recognize that right where I am, I'm surrounded by this creative medium, the law of mind, and it takes the impress of my thoughts, it acts upon it. I have complete conviction that which when I speak my word, it returns to me multiplied. I give thanks for the good that continues to express in every area of my life. I give thanks for the law. I give thanks for the joy. I give thanks for the peace that embodies me, that allows me to feel empowered, that helps me to move beyond past restrictions and past limitations, to live the greater life to be lived by means of me. For all of this, I do give thanks. And releasing this word now to the law of mind, we are grateful, so grateful, and so it is.
Thank you, Reverend Mike. Now I'd like to have a talk, just a short little chat with the kids, wherever you may be. Hi. I'm so happy to connect with you, even though you're not sitting here on the front row yet. But it will be wonderful when that time comes. And in the meantime, please know that you are always in Reverend Mike and my heart, always. We think of you, we talk about you. Oh, and it's always good, by the way, because we adore you. You're very precious to us. You are like our own children. So I think probably all of you know the story of the little engine that could. Do you remember it? Of course you do. And I know there was a Disney version of the movie, too. I never saw that, but I certainly read the book. Who didn't? And it was about a little engine that really was just used in the train yard until the day that a very long train needed to go over a steep mountain, and there was no engine available to take it over. I think the big blue engine was asked, and it said, no, I can't do that. And perhaps then a yellow engine was asked, and it said, no, that's too much for me. And finally the little engine said, I think I can. That was the beginning. I think I can. And connected with the long train and started going up the mountain. This little engine going up the mountain, going, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think, say it with me. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Whoo, got way up to the top and it went all the way to the top of the mountain. I knew I could. Now there's some things I'm sure that happen in your life as they do in our lives where we're not so sure we're up to the task. And yet there's something within us that has just enough willingness and just enough hope, perhaps, that we're moved to attempt it. That's a very wonderful thing, because what it is that's moving us to attempt something that we're not sure we can do is the presence of God itself within us, whispering, oh yes, you can. Of course you can, because you're not doing it by yourself. I'm here to help you. I don't know what you are facing today that might feel difficult. Certainly you're home, you're cozy, you have your family. You miss your friends, don't you? Isn't that challenging? Isn't that hard to miss your friends? Do you call them and text, and do you Zoom with them? That's very good. But you still miss touching them and holding them and playing with them and wrestling with them if that's appropriate. There's a presence and a power and a great, great love within you that makes everything possible. And when we're inspired to do something that we thought we didn't know how to do or didn't have the intelligence to do or the experience to do, just say, I think, period, and then I can, period. And then you know, because your thought is powerful, and God always says yes. And of course, this is the time I would normally send you upstairs with Reverend Mike and your teachers, but not today, not yet. Good to be with you. We do love you. And now this is the time that we often have a demonstration of good, something wonderful that's taken place in people's lives, and they come up and tell us about it, but you're not here. So keep saving those up so that when you're back, you can come up here and share something wonderful that took place. And as a matter of fact, you can go ahead and make a little video on your phone. Send that to us. We'll use it right here in our live streaming on a Sunday morning. Because after you give that demonstration, what is it that we say? It's right up there on the board. Ready? Knowing all things are possible in infinite mind, I move confidently through each activity, inspired by love and guided by wisdom. Now it's time for a meditation. Would you like to have a little relaxation time? A little coming together in this sweet, sweet space, sacred love, infinite wisdom? Good, so would I. For there is a loving presence that is within us, all around us. It is the life of the divine itself. And so let's all come together in this one space. For time and space have nothing to do with the unity of life. And it is here and now, in this dynamic moment, this present instant, when we gather in the eternal, internal place of love and peace and power. So let's come into the heart of our hearts, which is being held so tenderly by the cosmic heart itself. There is love, only love, only love, only love. And we sink into this sweet presence of compassion and caring. We allow ourselves to be enfolded in the divine arms of infinite love. And here we just rest, for there is nothing to do, nothing to think, nothing to plan, only to be. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Just be. Be in the sacred silence and let yourself be loved. And in this continued consciousness of peace and love, we remember who we truly are. The beloved, in whom God is well pleased. Nothing to change, nothing to fix, for each of us is indeed the unimpeachable wholeness of the universe made manifest. And in this wholeness, there is peace, and there is power, and there is love, and there is wisdom. And we enter into this day now, fully conscious of the empowered beings that we are, empowered by love, moving gently and dynamically through peace. How sweet it is to remember that all is well. All is well, truly, truly, on the deepest level, all is well. And now let's get going up that mountain, because we can. We think, and then we can. We know, and then we do. And it all begins with being. This is a brand new month. It's May. It's the first Sunday in May. And our theme for the month of May is courage and compassion. Hand in hand. Courage and compassion. Helen Keller said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." And so the little train that could is all about the beginning of confidence, which just may start as a little spark of hope, a little creative intention. The book, of course, was actually called The Little Engine That Could. But I will expand this as we go through our little chat here this morning, so we realize that it also is the little train that could. Now we're talking about a train of thought, of course. We ask ourselves often, let's ask ourselves often, what is the direction of my intention? What is the direction of my attention to my intention? We don't want to derail. We don't want to get off track. When we have established a new mental equivalent for ourselves, for this country, for this world, a new mental equivalent of wholeness and happiness and freedom and joy, we do not wish to allow ourselves to go down the wrong track. And we only go down the wrong track when we allow ourselves to be influenced by some outside forces or perhaps some old inside messages that are still alive and haven't yet been transformed to something more creative, more constructive, and more positive. So doing the mountaintop thinking is what gets us back on track. The mountaintop thinking is about that vision that we're creating, that we are all creating together. Because we aren't staying on this track. We aren't continuing, we'll be on the track, but we aren't staying in the station. And we are not continuing to chug this mountain till we finally get to the top. We need to imagine, we need to vision that we're already there. And that's a very empowering awareness. And when we come together in community, co-creating this brand new idea about ourselves and about our beautiful new world that we are ready to manifest, then we will stay on track. We'll continue to chug up the mountain and wave at each other as we go. We begin where we are. We have to start right where we stand, right where we sit, or right where we're lying in our pajamas right now. Wherever we are at the moment is the time and the place and the moment, the powerful moment of now in which we begin. And we invite the confidence to grow. We might start a little bit shaky. Hope is the starter. I kind of hope maybe I could. But hope is not going to do the job. It is only going to get us on the track. And hope is a yeasty thing, right? How many bread bakers do we have out there now? You know that yeast is what makes it rise. Hope is the yeasty thing. And it's like a little more each day. And we stir it in with more confidence until it ultimately becomes the awareness. It becomes our strength of purpose. But it must start somewhere. It's certainly better than despair, but we must ultimately move beyond hope. Well, the current world conditions fill us with uncertainty because they're all uncertain. Isn't it wonderful how in these last many weeks, is it only weeks? Is it months? Is it years? It's been a long time. Have you noticed how we're becoming a little more comfortable with not having to know everything all the time? When's it going to happen? What can I do? What am I supposed to wear? Who can I talk to? What can I? There's so much uncertainty, but we're becoming more comfortable. And do you know why that is? I know why it is. It's because there's something that is absolutely certain. Something that is totally dependable, and we continue to move from the what am I supposed to do and what's going on here and when is it ever going to open up to that which we know for sure, that which is absolutely reliable, the presence of the divine itself, the unimpeachable wholeness of the universe that is already manifesting through us. We need to open our eyes and open our ears and open our minds and open our hearts and become aware that something beautiful is already unfolding. And the stuff that we're having to deal with in the meantime, psst, it's the fleas, it's the gnats. It's no big deal. It's a big deal, and it isn't when you look at it in terms of infinity and eternity. We're going through an amazing process right now, and we're doing it together, and the world is quite small. And we are connected with each other. We know what's happening in Nova Scotia. We know what is happening in Australia. We know what is happening next door, even though we can't go there right now. We are aware. We have this great web of information. And it really is like a replica of the infinite mind of God itself, which has always, always contained this infinite information and wisdom and love that connects us all. So the internet is a beautiful outpouring of the infinite intelligence that is always in place, always has been, always will be. But how can we make good decisions, we wonder, when there's so little that is known? When can we gather in public again? How long do we need to stay socially distanced? How long and where are we to wear masks and gloves? How will we interact in the meantime? That is a more important question, isn't it? That's something we have control of. The rest of it we don't. We just follow the best science. We follow our inner wisdom. We do what is right and appropriate. And the most appropriate and constructive and loving and wise thing that we can do right now is to interact with each other in beautiful ways. Last night, in fact, our spiritual community right here in Paoli had its first social Zooming meeting. And it was so lovely. It was like an extended version of Hollywood Squares, where we got to see each other and we poured in about how we all are. It was almost like being in our hospitality area again and chatting over a cup of tea and a cookie. Almost. It's very satisfying to connect with people in this way. Thursday night was daughter's birthday. She's down in Boca Raton, Florida, and family and friends gathered from all over the country, and we connected with her and had a birthday party. It was quite different than any we've had, but do you see how creative and resourceful we are? We have an infinite intelligence that is asking us, please, to use it right now, and we are. I hear the most amazing things about how people connect with each other. So what's within us is much more reliable than any outside supposed source. We rely on our inner knower. Our true intuition is that voice of God within us. And how do we know that that's truly what we're listening to? Our hearts tell us, our minds tell us, even our bodies tell us. When we tense up, we're not sure that's correct, I wouldn't follow that one. When we feel relaxed, do we get the go signal? Yes, then that is right and appropriate for us. So the two things that are so important right now as we're moving up the hill is to find ways to be lovingly interactive with each other. Three things: to find ways to be lovingly interactive with each other, to deepen our meditation and spiritual practices, and to co-create within our own hearts and minds and together as an entire community a new vision for a world that works for all. That will be the top of the mountain when we finally understand that there's something better and more beautiful and more workable and more just and more loving and more fun and more fabulous than anything we have known before. Up the hill we continue to go, and the little engine that was wise enough and confident enough after it was hopeful enough, became confident enough to keep going up, brought up the entire train. That's the rest of the world, you see. And then it became the train that knew it could. Each one of us is this little engine. Oh, I'm not so sure. Just little old me. What can I do? I don't have the experience. I've never been out of the train yard. You have been called. You and I have been called to this purpose. And as each of us, as the little engines, finally realize we don't do anything on our own, we open ourselves to this divine creative power, which can include many, many trains to come along with it as we make this ascent. We're in an ascent right now. It has felt like a descent in many ways, and it's been a descent for many people who unfortunately have been suffering through this, but it is time now for all of us to make the ascent. We can always rely on that divine source within us when we realize, as the master teacher taught us, I of myself do nothing. It is the power within that doeth the works. It is the creative intelligence within that doeth the works. It is the wise and wonderful and loving presence within that does it all. There's this great creative intelligent activity that is constantly at work within us, within the world itself. Do you know, you and I can't lift a finger on our own. Remember the little test we went through? Let's try this. You can do it. Yes, please try this at home. Take your right finger and your index finger on your right hand, and wiggle it. Can you wiggle that finger? Oh, very good. I can almost see you in my creative imagination. Okay, now I want you to go to the left side of your brain, which controls the right side of your body, I'm told. And please find the exact spot, the right nerve, the right place within your brain that would begin to send those wonderful messages down through whatever conduit it must take place till it gets to your finger and makes it wiggle. Can you do that? What? And I thought you were really bright people. Of course we can't. It's not our job to do that. There is an infinite intelligence within our bodies that responds to what? Our choice. I choose to wiggle my finger. Brain says, wiggle finger, and off it goes. I don't even have to think about those paths, the neurons, all of the things that will ultimately give the message to my little finger to wiggle. I can do the same thing with my left foot. Look at this. See, can you do that at home? I bet you can. I want to make this point. We don't breathe by ourselves. We don't keep our hearts beating on our own. We cannot make the blood flow through our bodies. When we go to sleep at night, we don't have to ask all of these functions to continue to do their good work. And we don't have to wake up at certain times and monitor them. Because God is here. The infinite intelligence of this universe is here, at work within us all the time. We are not even conscious of it. Oh, please, let's become more conscious of it. Let's become more grateful for it within ourselves, within our loved ones, within every sentient being in this world. Something greater always provides the energy, the insights that are needed to accomplish everything. And it has the ability to accomplish everything with grace and with ease. Ernest Holmes said, "We don't need to struggle anymore. Those times are past. Let's create a new intention that we all share, that we can move through our beautiful life experience with grace and with ease, rather than struggling and rather than that wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth." Oh, I remember the story about the little woman from the South who was in the front row of her church that Sunday morning when the preacher said, "And when that day comes, brothers and sisters, there will be wringing of hands and gnashing of teeth." And this little woman spoke up and said, "Preacher, what about those of us who have no teeth?" And he said, "Teeth will be provided." Fortunately, that is not our religion. We have no hellfire and we have no damnation. We do experience hell in our lifetimes from time to time when we forget who we are, when we think we have to do everything by our own hand, and we struggle and we strive and we wring our hands and we gnash our teeth. That's not how we were created. That is not the divine intention for us. And we truly can learn to move through everything with God's grace and with ease. Because it is absolutely true that with God all things are possible. And so if we begin with even a little glimmer of hope, we can stop any sense of a need to struggle. And can you imagine just relaxing into divine guidance? Letting ourselves be intuitively led to that which is for us to do in that present moment. So the engine is needed. You and I are these engines. And each one of us makes a choice for empowerment. Every time we say yes, we add something to our spirit, especially if it is a time that we're not so sure we can do it. I recalled this morning a dream that I had. It was so vivid. I still remember it many, many years later. It was when I had been accepted to the University of California in Berkeley, California. And I was in my late 40s, returning to school, and something within me knew this was mine to do. But there was still enough doubt that I had a dream that I was a little Volkswagen Bug. And I was driving myself apparently onto the campus. And I'd been on the campus, but I hadn't been into the building that I, as a Volkswagen Bug, drove into. And I started going up the marble stairs. And I somehow made it up there. It was the strangest dream I think I've ever had, but an important one, because 2 years later, I graduated with honors, and I must have been a Ferrari by then. I was ascending with doubt, with a little hope that kept growing until I recognized that I didn't need to struggle. I didn't need to drive up a bumpy marble staircase. I could simply let the intelligent creative power within me guide me. I made a choice for empowerment. You and I are making a choice for empowerment today. And that's by allowing whatever is taking place out there to unfold the infinite wisdom and the divine compassion that is within it and moving us all up through it, ascending. We begin right now where we are in consciousness. We're starting a new train of thought, all of us together, each of us taking that next step each day. What is mine to do? And it's even beyond what is mine to make for dinner. Those are important decisions too. We must continue to care for ourselves and our loved ones and our neighbors when that is appropriate too. And I love continuing to read all the beautiful stories of people bringing food to others who can't go out to get it for themselves. I love how people are inspiring each other and being there for one another in so many beautiful ways. What a magnificent time of life to let the creative empowerment within us come up with all kinds of fabulous new ideas, all from our hearts, from our infinite wisdom, from our divine compassion. We're all sharing this, and we're bringing this sense of unification and simplicity and sweetness and caring for one another into the brand new world that we are co-creating. I'm so glad we're together today. I'm so glad we're together every day. I'm going to ask you to say with me right now, and I know I will hear your words ringing in my heart, so shout them out if you would. I know all things are possible in infinite mind. I move confidently through each activity. I'm inspired by love. I am guided by wisdom. I think, therefore I can. I accept, therefore I am empowered. And so, my beloveds, beginneth our lesson. Now this is the time of our offertory. What a great opportunity to share our abundance with our source, to the closest place of our spiritual food. And right after our prosperity celebration, we will hear announcements from the president of our board, Karen Davis. So let's know that there is something that is wonderful about this law of circulation, and that is that it works. As we give, so we receive. As we give generously from our hearts, we are replenished and multiplied. So we give to our source. We open our hearts and our minds to the flow, the constant flow of good. And so will you say with me, and there you'll also see how you may make your contributions. It's right there on your screen, and we are so grateful that you're willing to continue to keep our doors open for the time that you can come through them again. Will you say with me our prosperity celebration affirmation? I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is.
I've done my time, I'm so tired, I give up on my simple mind. It's not working, I'm no good. I'm in need if I only could find the spirit in the house. I said spirits in the house, yeah, yeah. Lots of stop I go through, pull me over, said the man in blue. Son, you know what you done did? I said, yes, I ran a lot of red. What's your hurry, why the race? Who you trying to keep it? Take your time now, it's alright. Got your answer, you can't hide from the spirit in the house. I said spirits in the house. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I'm on fire. How about you? Can't you feel the spirit God in you? House ain't home, home is where love's alive when you wanna dwell. Well, I'm on fire. How about you? Can't you feel the spirit God in you? House ain't home, home is where love's alive when you wanna dwell. Well, I'm on fire. How about you? Can't you feel the spirit God in you? House ain't home, home is where love's alive when you wanna dwell in the spirit in the house. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Spirits in the house. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I said spirits in the house. Holy, holy, holy spirit. Spirits in the house. Come on. In the house, y'all. Spirit in the house. Woo!
Hi, my name is Doug Davis, and I'm here to bring you your morning announcements.
Nice try, Doug, but it's actually my turn to do the announcements. My name is Karen Davis, and I am so proud to serve you as the board president and treasurer for the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living, emphasis on greater. This morning, we'd like to acknowledge Rick Smethers for sponsoring this Sunday as a special thanks to Dr. Maxine, Reverend Mike, Jeff Messino, Edie Janik, Tina Richards, and Linda O'Neill for all their support and for bringing us creative live Sunday streamed celebrations, and to Dr. Maxine and Reverend Mike for sending us their virtual daily love notes, and yoga too. She's always a part of those. You can view any of these by clicking on the orange Watch Live button on our brand new website. Speaking of, it's www.cslphilly.org, and if you haven't visited it yet, please do. You're going to find lots of wonderful things. It's a fabulous representation of who we are as a community, and we're very proud of it, and we know that you will be as well, and it will keep us all in touch now while we're social distancing, and even in the future when we're not, because it's going to be the place to go to know about everything that's happening in our community. We'd also like to give a special thanks to Pace and Burt for organizing our first Zoom social hour that happened last night. It was such a success, really fun to see all the smiling faces, and we are planning more events with the use of Zoom technology, including some fun and games and Bada Bingo and more. So watch for your weekly email and on the website for more of those events coming up. And speaking of, Frank Henninger is going to be offering 3 workshops via Zoom, so you can enjoy them from the comfort of your home. The first one is Spirit Notes Journaling for Personal Growth. It's a workshop that's going to be held on Saturday, May 23rd from 2 to 5 p.m. The second one is writing haiku, a Japanese mindfulness practice being held on Saturday, May 30th from 1 to 4 p.m. I guess I could have tried to do a haiku for that announcement, but I don't know how, but I will after this workshop, I'm sure. And finally, The Cosmic Mind, a philosophical exploration of cosmology and consciousness, which is going to be held on 4 Wednesdays, starting June 3rd from 6:30 p.m. until 9 p.m. For more details and how to register, you know where to go, www.cslphilly.org, and click on the events calendar, and there will be the flyers and everything you need to know to be able to sign up for those classes and workshops. We'd also like to encourage any of you who have experienced a positive demonstration in your life through practical prayer or spiritual mind treatment and this teaching. And the way that you can do that is give Dr. Maxine a call. Her contact info is on the website, and you can either call her or email her and give her, have a little conversation with her about your demonstration, and then you can record it on your cell phone like I'm doing right now on my iPhone, and email it or text it to Jeff Messino, and he will work the magic of editing it into our Sunday celebration so that we all get to share in whatever positive things are happening. We are all about the positive good news right now, so if you have some to share, please don't hesitate to get in touch with Dr. Maxine and share it with the rest of us. And just a little update about the Board of Trustees. We continue to work on your behalf. We are having our meetings by Zoom, and we've had telephone calls and emails while we continue to manage the operations of the center. And it's a priority for us to try to communicate and connect with you as much as possible. And so if you have any creative ideas about how we might be able to do that, feel free to reach out to any of us. We know that we will be stronger and more connected after this experience. And we look forward to seeing you all in person in our beautiful facility on Sunday mornings in the very near future. But until then, we will stay connected with you the best way we can, and we look forward to hearing from you. I hope you all have a great day, and take it away, Doug.
And don't forget to go outside, run around in the grass, enjoy the sunshine, chase a bird, and have a beautiful Sunday.
Thank you, Karen and Dougie Davis. That was delightful. What fun our announcements have become. And I also want to thank Jamie Lula, who played during the Prosperity Celebration. He and so many other New Thought musicians have been so generous and open-hearted to send us these videos that we can play for you. We're so grateful for that. All right, this is the first Sunday in May. Do you remember what that means? It used to mean cake. We don't have one here today. We will have them again. But what we do on birthday Sundays is that we have everybody who was born in the month of May to stand up so we can sing to you. So wherever you are, if you were born in the month of May, please stand and let us sing to you. Hit it, Maestro. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear birthday. Happy birthday to you. That's it? Okay. Wonderful. And they're willing to have you share the birthday cake. All you have to do is find them. And now we will have our closing song, which will be Thank You, God, for Everything by Eddie Watkins Jr. And thank you again from the bottom of our hearts for continuing to be with us. We love you.
Let's all sing together. Thank you, God, for everything.
Thank you, God, for everything. God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you, God, for everything. Thank you.
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 Thank you, God, for everything. 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 Thank you, God, for everything.
And we are so grateful that definitely with God all things are possible. We go out into our small worlds right now with joy and with a great sense of confidence that together we are doing this by letting God do it through us. And so it is.